I had a spiral-bound notebook, a purple Bic pen, and a tape recorder packed into my messenger bag, just in case. I was wearing sensible slacks, thick wire-rimmed glasses, and smelled faintly of copper-tone sunscreen. I was 17 years old, and I was gonna report the hell out of the Fairborn, Ohio 24th Annual Sweet Corn Festival. I walked up to my first interviewee. "Excuse me, ma'am. I'm writing a story for the Fairborn Daily Herald. What's your favorite part of the Sweet Corn Festival?" The next day, the front page of the Herald had the answer. The headline read, "The star of the Sweet Corn Festival is corn." And below the headline, in smaller letters, was the most exciting part. By Carol Scott. My name, in print. The editor of the Fairborn Daily Herald was Bill Flanagan, a white-haired newspaper veteran who'd had to cut back his hours at the newsroom due to extreme excitability. I would show up after school and wait for my assignment. "Carol, we have a situation at the Planning Commission. There's some controversy about the groundwater drainage plan, and I need you to check that out." "I'll be right there. And I'm gonna need you to cover the Firefighters Volunteer Appreciation Breakfast. Now, I'm gonna slap that on the front page. Are you ready?" "I'll do my best." "And I just got an exclusive that there's a Fairborn woman who taught her cat how to skateboard. I need you to dig a little on that." "I'm on it." From livestock shows to car dealership openings to the occasional rural streaker, I covered them all. Whenever a story ran, I would cut it out, tape it to a piece of acid-free white paper, and add it to a 3-ring binder. At the front of the binder was an insert that read, in Comic Sans, "Carol Scott, journalist." When I went to journalism school for college, my advisor flipped through my binder and said, "I think you need to challenge yourself a little more. I'm gonna send you on an internship with the Orlando Sentinel so you can learn how to do some hard news." Hard news? Hard news? Had she not read my story of the woman who made plaster molds of her children's hands and feet? But I needed the internship to graduate, so a few months later, I drove my mom's '88 maroon station wagon all the way down to Orlando, Florida. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to Orlando, but they don't grow sweet corn there. Their major crops are retirees, Mickey Mouse, and meth. This was 2004, the year that Hurricanes Charlie, Jean, and Francis ripped through the state of Florida. I drove into town through construction zones and sidewalks full of tree limbs, and I saw homeless people pushing shopping carts down Orange Blossom Trail, the city's most dangerous road. This was it. This was hard news. My editor introduced me to the other reporters. Gary was reporting on a possible serial killer. Roberto was having an off-the-record conversation with an influential politician. And Melinda was this reporter's star hurricane reporter. Melinda looked at me through her steely gray eyes and flared her nostrils. "Where's the other intern? I liked her." She looked away. It was as if she'd looked into my soul and seen a cat riding a skateboard. At that moment, my editor beckoned me into his office. "Carol, we're hearing reports that house cats are dying, and we need to go check it out." "Cats? Again? Am I being typecast?" As I interviewed the tearful owners of Zipper, the small black and white feline that had met an untimely death, I realized that I was gonna need to figure out my own story assignments. So as I read the Sentinel's coverage of hurricane damage and home repair, I started remembering the homeless people I'd seen as I drove into town, the ones pushing the shopping carts, and I wondered, what had they done during the hurricane? So a couple days later, I walked into the woods off of Orange Blossom Trail to find out. And what I saw was a city in a forest. People with no place to go had made a camp in the woods, putting down beige carpet on the ground and hanging tarps on clothesline to protect them from the rain. They'd even nailed shelves into tree trunks as portable storage. And in this camp, more than a dozen people had withstood 3 separate hurricanes. One woman pointed to her tent and said, "I was in there for 3 days." And she didn't come out until she heard the road traffic on Orange Blossom Trail and knew it was safe. When the storm was over, she swept up her campsite and cut yellow flowers that she put in a glass bowl by her tent. I asked questions and wrote down the answers in my notebook, and my photographer snapped pictures. And when I got back to the office, I tried to comprehend how brave these people were, what heroes, to face possible death under tarps and tents, and yet, when the storm was over, think to cut flowers and put them in a vase. When the story ran on the front page of the Orlando Sentinel, the nonprofit I'd profiled told me they'd received lots of donations and offers of help for the homeless. And for me, for the first time, it was about more than just seeing my name in print.